Will Cardano recover from the beating it has taken over the past week? Well, there was some question to that, and there always will be, but we're seeing some evidence that the answer might be yes. I'm looking at the daily chart of Cardano right now. Let's get into some analysis. To start with, I will go to one of my favorite tools, that is tradingview.com. We're going to look at their technical analysis that they provide to find out what they think. Let's take a look at the disclaimer. Here is the disclaimer for this YouTube channel. I'll also include it in the description of this video. You need to know who you're listening to and why. So take a look at that disclaimer. Here is the technical analysis for ADA for the 1 day time frame. We're looking at a neutral according to TradingView, a buy from the oscillators, and a moving average. The moving averages also show neutral. A longer time frame is the 1 week. It is on the buy. Oscillators neutral. Moving averages strong buy. On the 1 month, a buy with oscillators neutral and moving averages a strong buy. Let's take a look at the price. All right, so let's see, what day is this? This is the 3rd of January right here on this candle that I am looking at. I had talked about, and since about the middle of December, that we had seen ADA ranging between this 0.055 level and this 0.068 level. Not only was it ranging, as is clearly shown, but we were showing it making higher lows and lower highs, which appeared to be squeezing the price, which usually indicates a relatively strong price break coming out soon. It's like a coil. As it gets tighter and tighter, that energy has to go somewhere once it explodes. We didn't know the direction it was going to break out of, but let's look at the 2nd of January. And let's look at some Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin was doing around the 2nd of January. My supposition was, going back to ADA, we were going to break out. I had several reasons for that. One was the technical analysis on Cardano was showing buys across the board. 2 was Cardano, after this huge run up in October, let me switch to the weekly, had held its highs very well. Here was the huge run up in October. It had been ranging these weeks, but it had been pushing toward the top. You had not seen it fall below and seen price dropping. So that was my second reason I assumed we would pop out toward the top. And my third reason, looking on the Bitcoin chart, was on the 3rd of January, really, the morning of the 3rd of January. I woke up, did a video, and there was this green candle right here that had started the day that showed us a little bit green, but resting nicely above 45,000 on Bitcoin. And I assumed Bitcoin had broken that 45,000 the previous day and was going to continue its work upwards. That was until this happened in Bitcoin. See if I can find the hours it happened. 2 hours. Totally didn't destroy Bitcoin. Made it fall 10%. Let's not exaggerate, but it did make it fall 10% from 45,000 to 41 and a half. So lost about 8 to 9% in about 2 hours. You never want to see that in any financial instrument. That's what happened in Bitcoin due to, up until now, unsubstantiated rumors that the SEC had denied the Bitcoin ETFs, and this is what happened. So while price on Bitcoin was resting nicely, let me go back to that chart on the daily, was resting nicely up here above 45,000. It got, again, I don't know why I want to say destroyed. It didn't get destroyed, but it did get knocked down pretty well in 1 day, really 2 hours. So that was the 3rd of January, and that had effects across crypto naturally. And this is what happened that day for ADA. We got that breakout immediately. I could go to the 1 and the 2 hour charts on ADA. In fact, let's do. And you can see what happened on ADA. Here's the 2 hours, boom, boom. Fell out of this wedge that was being created, broke this 0.055 level or 0.55 level that it had been ranging inside of, wicked down, came back up, recovered for a day, and then you can see on the hourly it recovered for a day or so, and then eventually tested that level again and broke. And since then, I'm doing a lot of charting here. Hopefully you can keep up. I'm trying to keep it relatively simple. I'm back on the daily for Cardano. You can see it rested up here and then eventually broke that 0.55 and has been carrying down the last 3 days, which was concerning if you were in a short-term long. I am in ADA, but I am in a ADA position for long term. Naturally, it bothered me. I always want to see ADA going up, but it's hard to complain when something you're holding doubles in two months. Nonetheless, I didn't want to see this going down. It had continued to break resistance or support and was falling. One critical piece of support that I use to determine if a trend has changed, you can see these fib lines right here, this blue dotted line to the top. This was the run up in October. This green dotted line to me is always important. It's the 0.618 level. You find that in math and nature all throughout. And I use that to determine after a big run up, has the trend changed? And you can see the last 2 days, if you expand this, or if I zoom in a little bit, you can see here's the green line and the daily charts broke below that. Also another concern. But what has happened today? Well, we've got this nice big green candle after falling down to about 0.46. ADA has skyrocketed back to this 0.54 again and is wanting to go back inside this range of 0.55, which would be fantastic. We want to turn this resistance into support. Why has ADA gone back up today? Well, thank you, Bitcoin, because of you. Now, this is funny. Crypto is weird, just like all trading. That's why you have to protect yourself when you trade, because crypto is strange. My supposition for Bitcoin was that we would be quiet the last week of December and the first week of January, and then Bitcoin specifically, would start moving again. That is what I had seen the last 2 years in Bitcoin during about the 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th, somewhere around there of January is when Bitcoin would get past its New Year's hangover and start moving again. Well, that did not happen because of those rumors that came out on the 3rd of January that flushed Bitcoin. But now we're just set right back up. Now Bitcoin's acting just like I assumed it would, staying in this channel right here, and now has broken out of the channel, made its move on the 8th. I assumed the move would be up just because Bitcoin and other crypto had held those highs from the October run so well. I assumed we would break up, and we finally have. So what I'm hoping is that minus this flush in Bitcoin, which pushed Bitcoin down and pushed ADA down and caused crypto all across the board to start falling down instead of staying in this range. Well, now Bitcoin is pushed up, and I'm hoping this is the beginning of the move that we were expecting in January in 2024 of a nice run in Bitcoin in 2024. Some called for us hitting 48,000 in January. It looks like that very well may be the case. So I'm hoping all is back to normal. All is back to expected after it really was a rumor put out by a company saying that the ETFs had been denied, which caused this. So you just can never count on stability or to be able to predict exactly what price is going to do. It's a game of probabilities. You try to put things in your favor. That's why we do this analysis. We try to turn things into our favor. But even in our favor, we're only going to be right maybe 60% of the time. And that means you have to watch your risk and reward carefully. So I'm hoping this is the move we were expecting in Bitcoin. I'm hoping Bitcoin will carry on. We're sitting nicely above 47,000 right now. If we stay up there, I do think ADA will continue to challenge this 0.55, perhaps break it and move on. It's going to wait on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the leader, always has. But the thing about these smaller coins that aren't Bitcoin really is once Bitcoin gets that energy and takes off, sometimes these coins can be delayed a few days or a week before it actually takes off. But then these coins, these smaller coins, tend to go further than Bitcoin does. And that's what we saw in the October to December move. Bitcoin stalled out right here on the 8th of December. And some other coins, ADA wasn't one of them, but VET, Solana, Avalanche was some others, carried on. And that's, of course, what we want to see in ADA. We want to see that momentum from Bitcoin push us back into this range. We want Bitcoin to go as high as it possibly can, and then ADA will hopefully follow along. And even if Bitcoin stalls, hopefully Cardano will continue to creep up. That's the goal. Everything's looking good, but again, can change all at the drop of a hat. Let's see what Bitcoin does. It's looking good for us again in ADA. Let's hope it stays that way. I'll keep you updated. Be sure to check back.